On June 25, 2025, 34 demonstrators were arrested inside the Russell Senate office building in Washington, D.C., while protesting proposed Medicaid cuts embedded in new legislation currently under Senate review. Organized by advocacy groups including Popular Democracy, ADAPT, and the Debt Collective, the protest drew participants from across the country: New York, Florida, Maine, New Jersey, and Virginia, many of whom rely on Medicaid and SNAP for survival. Inside the rotunda, protesters wore black T-shirts with the slogan, "Healthcare cuts will kill," and chanted, "No cuts to Medicaid," delivering a poignant message about the stakes. Without Medicaid, without essential medications like insulin and heart treatments, many Americans could die. Among those arrested were individuals in wheelchairs, underscoring how deeply these cuts could affect those with disabilities. Footage showed officers using zip ties on several protesters in wheelchairs, prompting public outcry. Capitol Police defended the arrests by stating that demonstrations inside Senate buildings are illegal and pointed to designated legal protest areas elsewhere on the Capitol grounds. However, the protesters emphasized that their arrests were a necessary risk to bring attention to the real human impact of slashing Medicaid funding. Organizers highlighted how Medicaid supports millions of Americans, covering everything from children's births to long-term disability care. The protest made a powerful moral argument. Medicaid is not just a line item on a budget, it is a lifeline. Parents of disabled children, elderly individuals, and people with chronic illnesses all depend on the program for basic survival. The demonstrators aimed to shift the conversation from politics to people, reminding lawmakers that the consequences of Medicaid cuts are measured not just in dollars, but in lives. This demonstration follows a long legacy of direct action within the disability rights movement. Similar protests in the past have used civil disobedience to emphasize the essential nature of Medicaid. Events like these reveal the intersection between healthcare policy and human rights, showing how vulnerable communities often bear the brunt of political decisions. In sum, the arrest of 34 protesters at the Senate building was an act of courage and conscience. It reinforced the message that healthcare is a human right and reminded the public that behind every policy debate are real people, fighting not just for funding, but for survival.